Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the evening news. I'm Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. The Supreme Court has adjourned hearing in a suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara states against the federal government seeking a restraining order to stop the full implementation of the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria until February 2022. Also, the Apex Court joined 9 states as parties in the suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara challenging the Naira swap deadline. This is as Governors Nasir El-Rufai and Yahaya Bello of Kaduna and Kogi states, respectively, attended the court proceedings. The Justice John Okoro-led 9-member panel joined the Attorneys General of Katsina, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Ekiti, and Sokoto states as co-plaintiffs. It will be recalled that governments of Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara states filed the suit against the federal government and the CBN, challenging the deadline for currency swap, which they said has brought untold hardship on Nigerians. Also, other state governors at the recent meeting of the Nigeria Governors Forum decided to join the suit to challenge the CBN deadline policy, which they said it is untenable in view of what they described as poor implementation of currency redesign policy of the Apex Bank. The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's inflation has soared to 21.82% in January 2023. According to the NBS, January's inflation rate is a 0.48% point increase from the 21.34% that was recorded in December 2022. He stated that the rise in inflation is due to the redesign of the Naira by the Central Bank of Nigeria as the deadline inflation rate rose to 21.82% compared to December 2022 headline inflation rate, which was 21.34%. NBS explained that it is a new 17-year high after inflation fell for the first time in December 2022, and Nigeria's inflation rate had been rising consistently for 11 months. The federal government has reaffirmed the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari to allow a fair and credible electoral process and hand over the reins of power to the next president on May 29. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, said this during the inauguration of the Presidential Transition Council constituted by the President to provide the legal framework for a seamless transition of power from one administration to another. Mustafa explained that this is the first time in the history of the federal government of Nigeria would be establishing a detailed process for managing presidential transitions of government at the federal level. SGF, who doubles as the chairperson of the council, said in line with the Executive Order number 14 of 2023, the council is charged with the responsibility of facilitating and managing the 2023 Presidential Transition Program Council, with, among others, facilitate the handing over process by the current president to the president-elect. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has summoned the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Lina Pasiveleni, over this speech and incisive comments by Nigerian Finnish lawyer and Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa. The Ekpa-led faction of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra had reportedly declared that elections will not be allowed to hold in the southeast and had ordered sit-at-home during elections. At the meeting with Pavelenian, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Oyama said EPA's action is fast becoming a threat to the forthcoming elections and that the federal government will not take it lightly with him, and the Finland government is not drastic is done. The minister, who was represented by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Zubairu Dada, noted that EPA is living in the comfort of his home in Finland and dishing out dangerous orders to his followers not to allow elections to hold in southeastern Nigeria. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has deferred its proposed nationwide strike, saying the federal government has met more than 50% of its demands. The national president and senior registrar, Department of Orthopedics and Trauma Surgery, Federal Medical Center, Umaya, Abia State, Dr. Emeka Innocent Orji, told newsmen that the federal government has met 2 out of NAD's 3 major demands. He further said that it has paid the 2020 Medical Residency Training Fund. It has, however, not met the demand for review of consolidated medical salary structure. NAS's demands include addressing irregularities in the new circular on upward review of medical residency training fund, outstanding payment of arrears of the new hazard allowance, salary arrears of members in state tertiary health institutions running into several months, among others. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has launched the National School Security and Emergency Response Center to scale up surveillance and protect school children. Flagging of the center in Abuja, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, said that the project is launched in furtherance of efforts by the federal government to end the spate of kidnappings and abductions for the ransom of school children. Mr. Agba said the government will ensure the prompt release of funds for the financing of the entire Safe Schools initiative to ensure that children are able to go to school without fear of kidnappings and abductions for ransom. He pointed out that the government is aware that the success of every one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals rest on a safe and secured environment where school children can get the quality education they need to unlock their full potentials and contribute to building a better Nigeria. Mr. Toby Komolafe Ebenezer, whose photograph shown on the screen has been declared missing by the Osun State Command of the Nigerian Police. This is contained in a press statement made available to Osbc News by the Public Relations Officer of the Command, SP Yemisi Opalola. Toby Komolafe Ebenezer, who lives at Kids Kid Diapers Farmson Street in Osogbo, is said to have left home since 11th of this month to an unknown destination and has since not returned home nor seen. He is aged 26, dark in complexion, about 7.5 feet tall, and has no tribal marks, while he speaks Yoruba and English languages fluently. The release enjoins anybody with useful information about his whereabouts to contact the nearest police station for prompt action. While in sport, the Nigeria Football Federation says Nigeria Match Day 3 African Cup of Nations qualifier against the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau will hold at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja, on March 24. The NFF also said that Guinea-Bissau's Football Federation, Federação de Football da Guinea-Bissau, has not picked a date for the second match, which could hold either on March 27 or 28 in the Moroccan city of Marrakesh. Guinea-Bissau plays its home games away from home as it does not have a CAF-approved playing turf in the country of slightly over 2 million people. The second competitive match for coach Jose Santos Pizarro, the Eagles set a new international win record, defeating Sao Tome and Principe 10-0 with 4 of the goals by Osimhen. Victory in both matches against the Wild Dogs will pave the Eagles' path to Côte d'Ivoire 2023. While on the foreign scene, the United Nations says $5.6 billion is needed this year to provide humanitarian aid in Ukraine and to the millions who have fled the war-ravaged country. UN humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths said this while addressing the UN Council on Migration and Refugees, adding that the need for aid is enormous, with some 21.8 million Ukrainians requiring assistance. Griffiths further said $1.7 billion is needed for assistance to the more than 4 million Ukrainian refugees hosted in 10 Eastern European countries. He explained that most of the funds will go to Poland, which is hosting more than 1.5 million Ukrainian refugees, and Moldova, the main transit country for Ukrainians making their way further into Europe. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Do join us at 7 for the major reports. Good evening.